Hi, my name is Matt Burnham. This is from my Communications 105 class, section 209. And today, for my training video, I'm going to show you how to properly take off a clutch and brake lever from a motorcycle, and the proper way to put the clutch and brake lever back onto the bike. The tools you'll need for this is you'll need 2 wrenches, one to hold the top of the bolt, and the other to twist off and unscrew it. And you'll need your new brake and clutch levers. We'll start with taking off the old brake lever. So what you'll do is you put the screw on top, hold onto the bolt. I've already twisted off the bottom to make it easier for myself. And you'll unscrew the bottom bolt, and then it'll release the brake lever from the bike. This also is screwed onto the bottom. It takes a little bit more time to screw off. When doing this, be careful of your bike. Unfortunately, I don't have a socket wrench, so it's a little harder for me to unscrew it. But if you did, it's a lot easier so you can't scuff up any of your paint. Then when you finally get this unscrewed, pull it out, like that, the brake lever is off. For the next part of the video, we'll be taking off the clutch lever. First, you have to take off the rubber garter that protects the nut that's on the clutch. Not all bikes have this, but most do. Just bend it back, pull it back on the clutch line a little bit, and then it'll expose your bolt. Like I said earlier, it'd be a lot easier if I had a socket wrench. You can tell I already have some scuffs on my bike from me doing it with regular wrenches. So what I'm going to do is hold on to this and unscrew the nut bolt on the bottom. And what you have is just a nut and bolt. Then from that, you'll pull your clutch lever out, and on the bottom, there's a pin that connects the wire to the clutch lever, which controls how you release your clutch and let it on. So you just be a little careful and just pop that out. Sometimes it's a little sticky because you put oil on it to make it nice and lubed. And it's been since last summer since I've rode, so it's a little stiff. There you go. So for the next part of the video, we're going to start putting the levers back on, and we'll start with the brake lever. Make sure you have the nut and bolt too. And just like how you took it off, it slides in to the sprocket. Push the first bolt through. Push it through, and it's hard because you got to get it through it. And once again, you have to screw. The bottom of this is threaded, so it has to go all the way through. And if you look on the bottom of it, you'll see it sticking out. Then when I finally get that all the way in, I'll take the nut and I'll start screwing that on the bolt. I'll have to grab my wrenches and tighten it all the way. With the brake, you aren't tightened all the way, so you don't want that to fall out on you. Couple more turns, I'm almost there. Like I said before, it'd be a lot easier if I had 2 socket wrenches and I wouldn't get close to touching my paint, but since the bike isn't made in America, it's a little harder to find those wrenches. And just like that, the brake lever's on. Okay, so now we've already successfully taken off the brake and the clutch lever, and we've put our brake lever back on. So now all we have left to do is put the new clutch lever on. And it's just like when you took the brake lever on. There's just just your nut and your bolt. And I already lubed my pin. You slide the pin in the bottom of the lever. Hard to see. Oops. It's a little hard because it's all oily. Just like that. There's a slot for the wire to go in. It makes it be able to pull. And your hands will be a little oily from this, so it's always good to keep a rag or something on you can wipe off when you try to screw the bolt back on. Maybe even dry the bolt off too if you got some stuff on it. And with the clutch lever, you don't want to screw it on as tight as the brake lever because you need it to be able to flow loose. So I'll grab my wrenches. And I'll take a hold of this guy. As you can see, it'd be a lot easier if I had the socket wrenches. Oops. From there, you can put your rubber garter back over it. And just like that, your clutch and brake levers back onto your bike. Now that you've got your clutch and your brake lever back onto your bike, it's always good to give them a couple of test pulls and make sure everything feels right. So what I'll do is I'll come over here, I'll grab my brake lever, pull it in nice and tight, release it a couple times and make sure it pops back with nothing wrong. Check your clutch, make sure it pulls nice and smooth. You don't feel anything pulling on the line or getting too tight. Looks good. Did you stop it? Now that you probably know how to take your clutch and brake lever off and then put the new ones on, I'd say you have a good understanding of what you need to do for your bike in case you're already going to change these. Some reasons for changing would be maybe you dump your bike and you got your old ones scratched up, or just overall looks to make your bike look a lot nicer. And it's always smart to keep your old parts just in case anything does happen and always have a backup. It's always nice to be checking your clutch lever every once in a while too, make sure it's nice and oiled and everything flows very well. Thanks for your time and watching my video. Hopefully you found it very helpful. And if you have any feedback or comments, you can leave it below. Thanks.